What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Boozer here. Thanks for stopping by. Hopefully, you guys having a good start to the week. It's Monday. Happy Monday. Happy Easter. You guys are celebrating that wherever you are. Hopefully, you guys are having a good one. In today's video, we got a bit of news here for some events that are happening during CVC. We do have CVC happening in 22 hours. 22 hours CVC. It's going to be personal reward CVC. And we'll be streaming that here on this YouTube channel starting tomorrow when CVC starts, or roughly a couple hours after it starts. So if you guys are around on YouTube, make sure you guys pop on by for the stream. Just be chilling. But it's going to be personal rewards, so we'll see. We'll see how things are. Anywho, in this video here, we got we got a couple bits of news here for tomorrow. So let's jump into it. All right, guys, so we got 2 days worth of progressive events. Each one of these events are happening for 24 hours. So we got 2 separate days here. Let's check out some of these champions up for grabs. These progressive events, you get a 15x chance boost on each of these champions that you can pick, of course. Which one gets the boost? Sorry, you can pick not get the boost on every one of these champions, but you can pick which one gets the boost. Some nice champions here on the first day. We got Glorious Palace from the brand new Argonite faction. Glorious Palace here. Incredible support. In my opinion, one of the best non-void, non-mythical supports in the game. The weakest part of her kit is going to be her aura. She gets 50 resistance in all battles. Is a little bit on the weak side. Base stats, great base stats overall. 109 base speed as well. Got an A1 ally attack with a fellow Argonite, and then also a team heal as well. This is going to be really strong once they release some OP Argonites. And then you got an A2 here, full team cleanse on a 3-turn cooldown with the block debuffs and a fervor buff. Fervor is incredible. It's a plus 10% damage boost, and it's also a 10% mitigation, damage mitigation buff. On a 3-turn cooldown, very strong. And then she also brings a team revive on a 4-turn cooldown, strengthen and increase speed as well. And then her passive is going to be really strong. Whenever any ally receives a debuff, place a shield on them. At the end of her turn, you give everybody a 15% turn meter boost. It's massive. Like I said, one of the best non-void, non-mythical supports in the game for sure. So yeah, Glorious Palace on day 1. And then after that, we got Fabian. Very strong champion here. Going to be one of the best lockouts in the game. Very dominant in live arena or PvP in general. If you don't have Crixia, which is a mythical, Fabian's going to be your next best bet. And in some cases, Fabian might not even be better than Crixia in some spots. In terms of overall control, Fabian's just incredible. He's got the A1 double hit, turn meter deplete. It's actually a steal, not just a decrease. He's got the A2 here, which is absolutely ridiculous. Very frustrating to play against, especially when you're far behind. But it's single target petrification and then true fear on your whole team. Whenever you revive back, he comes back in and fears you as well with his passive. And if you somehow break out of his fear, he'll come back in with his A2. So you revive back, you get feared, and then you break out of the fear and you get petrified. So it's a mess. And his A3 here is going to be an AoE 3-turn lockout. And then it's also a duration decrease on all buffs by 3 turns. So this can remove stone skin and all that stuff. He's also got speed in all battles here and 109 base speed. Very strong champion. I love my Fabian. If you got one, congratulations. Great champion. And he's going to be up for grabs as well on day 1. Next champion on the list, we got Osgron the Defiler. Osgron the Defiler. I recently got this champion. I'm just slowly building him out a little bit. But to me, he's like a dwarf, kind of like Arman's, but maybe slightly better than Arman's because of his A3. Let's check out his kit here. So he's got an A1. He's got 75% chance to increase the cooldown of a random active skill. Also has a turn meter fill of all allies by 10%. That's really powerful. Really powerful A1. His A2, very good A2 as well. 3-turn cooldown, 100% chance of removing all buffs from all enemies. Decrease the turn meter of all enemies whose turn meter is equal to or lower than 50% by 20%. So it's a turn meter drop above 20%. If an enemy's turn meter is more than 50% full, decrease it to 50 instead. So if you're at 99% turn meter, it'll decrease it down to 50%. So 49% turn meter drop. Just saying as an example. Has a 100% chance of placing stun for 1 turn on enemies whose turn meter was reduced to 50%. So basically, if you're over 50%, you're going to get reduced to 50% and then stunned. And then if you're under 50%, you're going to get a flat 20% reduction. So basically, the closer you are to getting a turn, the more he's going to status affect you. But his A3 differentiates him a little bit from other crowd control champions because it's actually an offensive ability. He comes in with an ally attack here, 4 turn ally attack. Increase attack with Shatter. Shatter's 7.5% ignore defense buff. And then he's going to attack with all allies into a single target. Decrease the cooldown of all allies' active skills except this champion by 1 turn if the target is killed. So it's actually an interesting kit because he brings crowd control as A1, A2, and then he can come in with an offensive ability, which is very good. And of course, this ally attack is going to be really good to break Mercurial and then kill trouble champions. His passive is also a little bit interesting because it catches people off guard. His passive effect: allies inflict 20% more damage against enemies under stun. It doesn't have to be him stunning them, but anybody under stun is going to take more damage. And his active effect on a 4 turn cooldown: whenever an ally is killed, instantly activates the A2. So he's instantly going to strip everybody, decrease their turn meter, or stun them. Actually, it could be, yeah, and stun them potentially. And then, yeah, that's it. Will not put the skill on cooldown, blah, blah, blah. So whenever an ally is killed, so if you somehow go second, and the enemy kills somebody, he's going to come in and then try to get your team back in the game with this ability right away. It's actually really cool. And yeah, it's a pretty big passive. It comes in with the 28% speed in arena battles as well. Very good. He's kind of like, yeah, like I said, like the dwarf Armans, but he does have an offensive ability, which is pretty cool. All right, after that, we have from the Demon Spawn, we have Prince Kymar up for grabs here. Prince Kymar bringing in, of course, the famous Seal of Magic. 6 turn cooldown, resets the cooldown of all ally skills, fills the turn meter of all allies except this champion by 20%. And then he also has, of course, the AoE sleep with the buff removal, the A1 AoE poison, and then 30% speed in arena battles. Now, Prince Kymar, I mean, definitely not in the meta right now in terms of arena, but you can still use them in a lot of different areas. Like, for example, you can use them for Titus teams. You can still use them in dungeons to reset your damage dealer so that they can clear waves faster. That's probably still the best place for them. And I mean, even in arena, you could use them just as a crowd control guy or as a guy to reset, your team for attacks. And I mean, if you can somehow get this guy in a high resistance build, he could be, still a lockout counter, perhaps, as long as you can prevent himself from getting locked out. Still a great champion, timeless champion, actually. It's just been good for so many years. It's just taking a relatively short back seat right now to the other champions in the game. Definitely power crept a bit, but still amazing champion. Up next, we have Noldula the Gloaming. So we just recently had the fusion for this champion. And if you missed her, then you have your chance to get her again. Yeah, she looks great. Great skin here. Good stats overall. She's got an A1 Enfeeble. This is really interesting because it's a 2-turn Enfeeble. 75% chance, unfortunately. But if it was 100% chance, it would be absolutely nuts. It's a weaken on a boss, but it's an Enfeeble against everybody else. Enfeeble basically means that you can't, that enemy with the Enfeeble can't crit back. Actually, it's not just crit. It's actually, you can't even hit a normal hit. So you're just hitting weak hits. So yeah, Enfeeble is really powerful. And then she's got this strip ability on a 3-turn cooldown with the decreased defense. Not going to talk about the bonuses here with Solinar, but if you have Solinar, then yeah, she's going to work really well with Solinar. But a strip and decreased defense on a 3-turn cooldown is very reasonable. And then she brings a full team revive on a 4-turn cooldown with a shield. So again, pretty standard stuff for a team reviver. Nothing overpowering or anything about that ability. The passive here, all turn meter effects used by enemies are 30% less effective. Again, a very simple kind of passive and can act as a form of disruption. Also brings plus 70 accuracy in all battles as an aura, which is pretty solid. Overall, her kit, I mean, it's serviceable. It's quite decent, and she'll work. She'll work especially for faction wars and stuff like that. As for the Void legendaries on day one, we got obviously Plarium right on cue here. We got up for grabs. We have Senna Amber Heart. So if you don't have Senna, yeah, or actually if you don't know what's going on with Senna, is that she's just crazy in terms of turn meter boosting. So any kind of content where taking extra turns or getting more and more turns really benefit you. So Senna is going to dominate in that kind of content. Places like Chimera, there's no negative really for you going as fast as possible and taking as many turns as possible against Chimera because it's damage output boss. Same thing with the current tainted Demon Lord. So against the current Demon Lord, you don't have that many turns to deal damage to him before he starts getting crazy. So having Santa Amberheart give you as many turns as possible so that you can pump damage into him, that's huge. So Santa Amberheart right on cue is up for grabs for this progressive event. She's got an A1, instantly activates continuous heals. Got an A2, 3-turn cooldown, increased speed, 2 continuous heals on all allies, and then a 20% turn meter fill. She's got Team Revive if you need it. And her passive, this is what the turn meter, where all the turn meter stuff happens. Whenever a continuous heal buff activates, fills the turn meter of all allies by 5%. It's crazy because it's not just the ally with the continuous heal, it's all allies. At the end of this champion's turn, increase the duration of continuous heal buffs on a random ally except this champion by 1 turn. So she passively can extend the duration um, of continuous heals. She, yeah, can activate them, and then she can boost turn meter by 5%, and then she can place continuous heals and apply turn meter on an ability. Speed in all battles as well, 113 base speed, crazy, crazy champion. Moving on from Ascena, we have another really strong Void champion actually from the Sacred Order here. We have Lei Noel. Lei Noel was a winter fusion, Christmas fusion, I think 2 years ago, 2 fusions ago. 105 base speed with a 30% speed in arena battles here. Very solid. Got an A1 block buff. A2, 3-turn cooldown. Sheep removal, or it's an increased speed with a pretty big single target heal. The big thing is that her synergy here with Sir Nicholas is kind of busted. So if you use this ability on Sir Nicholas, then you're going to get the unkillable buff on everybody. She also brings one of the best team revives in the game. 3-turn team revive, 50% HP, 50% turn meter, and then a freeze against the enemy. The freeze is really good. This is just a really crazy ability. A 3-turn full team revive. Her passive decreases speed of enemies under freeze by 10%. Whenever a sheep debuff expires on an ally, fills their turn meter by 50%. So a little bit of recovery here if you're under sheep. Overall, very solid ability. Like I said, the best, best team revive probably in the game. On a 3-turn cooldown, it's crazy. But her synergies here with Sir Nicholas make her, next level. As is herself, she's not bad, but not any part of her kit is actually overwhelming by herself. So, but that doesn't mean she's still a very solid champion. Up next for the Void champions, we have Togrond Conjoined. This guy, Togrond Conjoined from the Ogren tribes. Togrond. He was recently buffed. Look at this guy. Look at this. Look at this little guy. Look at this little dude. Look at this little cute dude on the side of his head. 110 base speed here. We got speed in all battles by 20%. Got a single target. 100% chance of applying buff spread, taking 1 random buff from each ally and placing it on all allies. That's interesting. We don't get this ability too often, buff spread abilities. It's got an A2 here on a 3-turn cooldown. It's going to be a 20% heal for your whole team, increased speed, continuous heal, and a block debuff. So 3 buffs on a 3-turn cooldown plus a heal. Pretty nice. Too bad it doesn't come with a turn meter boost or anything like that, but pretty nice. And what else is there? He's got a full team cleanse on a 3-turn cooldown with a turn meter boost. You get a little bit of an extra boost per debuff removed, and then you get increased accuracy as well. So you get 4 buffs potentially with a heal and a full team cleanse. Very solid support champion, actually. And his passive here, increase the allies' damage dealt by 10% if they currently have less HP than their target. That's going to happen pretty often, especially if you're battling bosses, for example. If an ally's HP is equal to or greater than the target's, increase their damage by 20%. So this might happen in PvP. So if you're using like HP damage dealers, for example, their damage can get boosted by 20%. Increase this champion's and each ally's max HP by 10% every time this champion uses an active skill. He doesn't have extra turn stuff in his kit, so I mean 5 attacks, and then you're gonna get 50% boosted HP. I mean, just nice solid passive ability. Also increases each ally's max HP by 5% every time they use an active skill up to 50%. So so the ally can also increase the max HP as well. So pretty crazy stuff here. This just passively happens, no cooldown or anything like that. Unfortunately, he doesn't bring a revive or anything like that. But as a turn meter booster, general support, very solid after getting buffed as well. So some pretty neat champions on day one. I'm going to say if you don't have some of the really older champions, Glorious Palace is definitely worth taking a look at. Now, keep in mind that obviously anything with these kind of events, they're just straight gambling. Hoping to get one of these champions from the boost is, obviously very wishful thinking. Even with a 15x chance, for example, if you try to get Palace, you're looking at about 7% chance of actually getting her if you pull legendary, which is going to be very difficult. So keep that in mind, of course. And then for the voids, obviously Senna is going to be pretty huge and a lot of content. So if you don't have her, she's going to be top prize there. Let's hop over to day 2 and see what day 2 has to offer. Again, one of the brand new Argonites being offered here as well. Kabaran the Under Flame. Now I did playtest him as part of my Argonite team video. He did impress. He did impress a little bit. I wouldn't say his damage is overwhelming or anything like that. But he did impress a little bit. He's got an A1 decreased defense here. You get some extra value from it if HP burns start popping off, so you get a chance to go in with this attack. Decreased defense is always very good on A1. His A2 here is a double hit. It also places a death brand on the target, ignores unkillable and shields, which is really nice, and 25% of the target's defense. Unconditional stuff, right? So this is really strong. Activates this champion's A3 if it kills the target. If the target survives, fills this champion's turn meter by 50%. So if you kill the target, he's going to come in with an AoE with an increased accuracy, and then he's going to place an HP burn on all enemies, fills this champion's turn meter by 20% for each HP burn placed on enemies, and fills this champion's turn meter by 10% for each HP burn resisted by enemies. So he's got a go through, unkillable, shield, ignore defense, single target hit. Death Brand is very strong as well. So if you land the Death Brand, you kill the guy, Death Brand will just block revive them. And then if you kill somebody with this ability, then you get an AoE HP burn as well with the big turn meter fill. So he's got some turn meter stuff going on, which is pretty cool. And the HP burn makes him, more useful against some bosses. But this A2 is strictly like, a PvP ability, right? His passive active effect on a 4-turn cooldown activates a delay effect on this champion whenever they receive a fatal hit. So delay effects mean that he will receive the damage the next turn. So he gets to survive and then receive the damage next turn. It also gives you a chance to out heal the damage that he received. So you get a chance, if you got a big heal the next turn, then he has a chance to kind of stay alive and not die. His passive effect heals this champion by 20% of their max HP whenever HP burn is activated on an enemy. Whenever HP burn a debuff on an enemy expires or is removed, place a true fear on that enemy for 1 turn. So the healing is actually really interesting because it gives them an opportunity to kind of receive a fatal hit, die, have this delay effect on, and then if the enemy starts taking HP burns, he'll start healing back up. And then you could, prevent yourself from dying and then full heal yourself back up. So you don't necessarily need a healer on the team to make him very strong, like make him very viable. Because usually if you have the delay effect, if you don't have any healing, you're just going to die right away the next turn. But he has his own healing, which is really interesting. Now I wouldn't say he hits particularly hard, but he has a very interesting kit that actually kind of works together. Turn meter boost, single target, death brand, block revive stuff. Go through unkillable, and then you have the HP burn stuff, and then single target decreased defense, and he has a cheat death with the heal. I think he's interesting, but I wouldn't say he's like top tier, but I think he's useful if you pulled him. Up next we have the demon spawn kitty cat. Where's the kitty cat? There you are, Sesha Cat. Very nice champion here. He's got an A1 single target hit, If he's under Veil, it's going to be a AoE attack. It's going to be really, really strong. Places Veil on himself after he uses ability. Has damage based on attack and speed, which is kind of nice. The A2 here is a triple hit, single target. It's going to be decreasing the enemy's speed by 1%, and you're going to be increasing your own speed. If the skill kills an enemy, places Perfect Veil on himself and the ally with the lowest turn meter for 2 turns. Then he's got an A3 here, another AoE on a 4-turn cooldown. Before attacking, places Perfect Veil and increase attack, and then gains an extra turn if he kills an enemy. This one's a big one, big attack here. And then lastly, his passive makes him that much better. If this champion's under Veil Perfect Veil, turn meter effects are 30% more effective. Also, if this champion's under Veil Perfect Veil, this champion's attack will ignore 50% of the target's defense and inflict 15% more damage. So, really nice, right? If he's under Veil, he's just a flat 50% ignore defense on all his abilities, and then an extra 15 damage boost here. Active effect on a 3-turn cooldown. Whenever this champion is about to receive a fatal hit that would drop their HP below 20%, blocks that incoming damage and places block damage and a Perfect Veil on his champion for 1 turn, and then 19% speed in all battles. His kit, I think, works perfectly for him. A lot of placing Veil on himself, keeping him under Veil. He's got AoE attacks. He's got extra turn mechanics if he kills somebody. He's got damage scaling as well. And he has a cheat death. This is a really, really good champion. He can hit ridiculously hard. If you have like a 6-star on him, and if he's built out, he can hit very, very hard. And he'll catch a lot of guys by surprise, especially with this block damage. And the Perfect Veil makes him particularly hard to hit. As a Spirit Affinity, like I see a lot of people pick Cheshire Cat against me when I pick like Empress, for example. The block damage will protect him from the reflect damage. And yeah, really, really nice champion, especially if you have one high star blessing. Up next, we have Wallmaster here from the High Elves. Where's Wallmaster here? Support magic. There he is. One of the few champions I don't have from the High Elves. Really solid champion here. He's got the AoE block buffs, decreased attack on a 3-turn cooldown. Great for Hydra, for example. Self buffing, and yeah, he can increase his HP as well. His damage is based off of max HP, so you can definitely get him to hit pretty hard. He's got double hitter here. Big thing about him is that if you put him in a Slayer gear, he can solo clear hard spider for you, and you don't even need crazy Slayer gear or anything like that. He just gains so much turn meter from his AoE attacks that he'll be able to clear that dungeon for you for no problem. But yeah, you can use him for Hydra and stuff like that as well. Since he deals max HP, he'll be able to dish out some pretty good damage as well as provide block buffs, which is really, really nice. After that, we have Thor from Barbarians. Very good champion, very good AoE damage dealer. He's got an A1 potential quad hit here. It's got an A2 big slam here, big AoE. Ignore block damage, unkillable. I mean, this could be useful. A lot of metas. And then you got the 3-turn AoE self buff with the decreased speed, and then a passive that just sends more AoE damage with the stun. Very good champion. You use him as a wave clear just for general progress. But for Hydra, he also pumps out crazy amounts of damage if you keep him going for a long time. Also can be useful for Fire Knight, multi-hit A1, decreased speed on the A3 as well. So I find myself using him or picking him to use in some content for Fire Knight Hard, for example. But yeah, really good damage dealer here. We got Thor. Up next, we have Sanguine Maria from the Undead Hordes. She was a recent fusion. Sanguine Maria recently got a lot of value since Mercurial came into the meta. I remember when Mercurial was first announced, I really thought Maria would be one of those champions that was kind of tailor-made for that set, or first of all, to use that set, and then second of all, to play against that set. Obviously, she has extra turn mechanics. She has triple hit A1 with the extra turn mechanic. She's got single target ability here with a bunch of ignore defense. Also ignore stone skin block damage if they have these conditions met. With a lockout if it kills an enemy as well. And also if you have these conditions met. The A3 here is another single target attack with a single target strip that becomes an AoE against enemies with less than 66% HP. Grants extra turns if this champion is under a number of buffs that is divisible by 3. She has a lot of things going on. There's a lot of conditional stuff, and it's kind of hard to keep track of because each one of these are a little bit different. They're a little bit different. And don't forget her passive here too. So she deals more damage um, on every subsequent hit, and then it resets after the 99% damage bonus. But then she also receives less damage on every subsequent hit, up to 3 times, and then it resets as well. So it's equally frustrating for your opponent to keep track of this because if you have a single target attacker and you're trying to kill Maria, and then suddenly she has 99% damage mitigation against you, your attack's not going to do anything against her. So it's, they have to keep track. You have to keep track of all her abilities going on. It's crazy. And then she also has another passive here. Whenever an enemy is revived, revives this champion with 33% HP and 66% turn meter. After being revived, places True Fear on all enemies. This debuff cannot be resisted. That's really nice. So that means if she's dead and then your opponent tries to revive somebody, she's going to come back and True Fear somebody. So it's very interesting kit. So she does have a little bit of a comeback passive, damage boosting passive, damage mitigating passive. She has a lockout ability potentially, ignore stone skin as well, ignore block damage as well. She has a strip ability, and then she has multi-hit A1 with an extra turn ability. So all these extra hits and extra turns gives her the ability to basically gain stacks from Mercurial and take off Mercurial stacks from your enemy. Again, making her very well suited for this Mercurial meta. So she's really good as a damage dealer right now in the arena. Let's jump into the Void Champions here. We got Onryo Ieyasu from the Shadowkin. Onryo is very, very good. He's a great damage dealer with his passive against places like Hydra, for example. He's got a single target double hit, ignore 50% of the target's defense. That's huge, as well as Stone Skin and Strengthen and Shield. I mean, this is a big, big ability to nuke somebody dead. He's also got a block revive here on the A2, which is also very threatening. And his A1 gives him an extra turn if you kill somebody. So even if you lock him out, his A1 can still be very, very threatening. 1630 base attack as well. No doubt he hits super hard, and he's Void Affinity as well for a damage deal. That's very, very important. After that, we have from the Dwarves faction, we have Arnorn the Shining. Cool champ. I have this guy. I do use him a little bit. He's pretty fun. Big thing about him, obviously, his passive, very strong here. His active effect on a 4-turn cooldown prevents his death, keeps him at 1 HP, places Stone Skin on him, and then he instantly activates his AoE, which can catch people off guard, potentially killing somebody. If he kills somebody, he's going to push back turn meter by 50%, and it can't be resisted, so it's pretty nuts. His A2 here gets stronger if you have buffs, so 35% ignore defense, very, very strong. And then his A1 here, chance to land stun. All his abilities hit pretty hard, and he has a pretty cool cheat death ability with damage scaling as well. So he does, he's pretty good. And he's Void Affinity as well, so good damage dealer. And then lastly, for the damage dealers here, we have an oldie, but still a goodie. Where is he? Night Rev, there he is. We have Hegemon. Very unique champion, was busted, many years ago. But big thing about him is his passive always goes first each round. If multiple Hegemons are in the battle, Hegemon with the highest speed will go first. Yeah, he's very, very strong. He's got an AoE attack here. Places decrease attack and also has a 50% chance of lighting block actives. If for some reason you don't kill the enemy with his ability when he goes first, you can place block actives on them, which shuts them down pretty big. But obviously, with Stone Skin and Mercurial, Hegemon has a hard time killing anybody. But at least previously, you could build a Hegemon with enough strength, with cracking roots, perhaps, to potentially kill some champions through Stone Skin. But now with Mercurial, that's going to shut out Hegemon a little bit more. So Hegemon, even though he's kind of sneaking into the arena meta, getting some arena picks here and there. Not too long ago, with Mercurial coming in, Hegemon's going to take a back seat again. But with this passive being so unique, he's always going to have, he's always going to be poking his head in and seeing what's happening. But right now he's going to be on the bench. I have no Hegemons on this account, but on my other account, I have 3 Hegemons. It's crazy. So Anyways, guys, on day two, what do we look for in terms of, yeah, we got a lot of nice champions here in terms of the non-voids. Kabarin, we got the Cat, Wallmaster, Thor, and Maria. All these champions are good. All these champions are good. It really depends on what you guys are looking for. I'm a big fan of the Cat. I mean, I'm a big fan of all these guys. Therion, Thor, Sanguine. Even Kabarin, I could see being very nice. In terms of the voids, I mean, Onryo and Arnorn, I mean, are kind of the similar kind of tier, I would say. And then unfortunately, Hegemon here would be probably the lowest tier just because he's not super useful in the area where you expect him to be, which is arena, but he's not going to be very useful there. But perhaps in lower tiers, he can still be good just because of the absence of Stone Skin and Mercurial. He can still be very good there. Anyways, guys, that's going to be it for the video. Hopefully you guys have a great day. Let me know in the comments below what you guys are up to. How was your weekend? Like I said, I'll be streaming CBC when it starts, a couple hours after it starts. It is personal rewards, guys, so it should be a pretty good one. But yeah, thanks a lot for watching until the end. Appreciate you guys. Have a great day, and I'll see you guys in the next video.